welcome back to Hermitcraft 3 Amplified. Well, I've been doing a little bit more work on the eyeball up there, and I think the iris now looks a lot better. My thanks to the person whose name I can't remember in the comments, who pointed out a little fix for the roundness looking of the iris. I applied that, and it seems to have worked very nicely. And I decided to make the inner ring of the iris the lime green, just to kind of make it pop a little bit more. And I think that works nicely. Alright, now let's head back over here to the inside of the eyeball, because I've been framing some things out in there. Okay, here we are, arriving. And I've gone ahead and framed out several floors in here. Let's see, easiest to show it from over here, I think. Yeah, I've just sort of framed out a few floors where they're going to be. Not that they're going to be made of dirt. I'm not going to do that to myself. But several floors, 4 blocks high each. I think I've got room for at least 2 more up there, certainly 1. And on the very top, outside, I want to have an observation deck. Just simply because I think that would be cool. In fact, let's head the rest of the way up there. Oh, heck. Where's my ladders? Here they are. I don't think I'm going to have enough. I should have planned better than that. I know better. But anyway, we'll get up here anyhow. Oh, perfect. Let's break through here. And that piece should be the absolute center. And I do believe it is. So up here, I want to have some kind of an observation deck, and maybe use iron bars as a railing or something. Maybe going around the edge on this level. I think that would work. Another suggestion that someone had about the eye was, and I'm sorry I don't remember y'all's names. I'm very bad with names. I should have made a note and had it in front of me on a text file. But it didn't occur to me to do that. So they suggested that I would get some grass, tall grass, and things like that, and use that as hair on the top. But unfortunately, you can't place that stuff on anything but dirt. And I am not using dirt as a structural component of the eyeball. That's just not going to happen. Yes, I've got a bunch of dirt in there, but that's temporary framing. It will go away. So I'm still working on ideas there. I'm thinking the main idea I've got right now is to use leaves. And I think that will probably serve. Alright, I need to unload some of this stuff and start replacing some of this dirt with actual planks. So let me go ahead and throw this chest down here. My mouse is a little stiff today. All right. I'm thinking to use the dark oak planks for the flooring. And I think it's going to look pretty reasonably good. And I should have brought an axe. All that planning ahead didn't do me so good, did it? at that later. But this is the basic idea. The dark oak floors, and I have a little bit of oak and a little bit of birch. The leaves I'm going to try using on the outside above to see what that can look like, and so on. And I'm also going to want to put some lighting up there because I don't want to have a whole lot of mobs. So I'm figuring when I'm putting down leaves, if I put together a bunch every now and then, put them together into bunches, then perhaps I can hide a jack-o'-lantern in that to light things up without being too obnoxiously positively obvious. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of those jack-o'-lanterns and see what I can do up there. All right, let's take a stab at lighting up the top of this and see if we can make it look a little hairy at the same time. All right. Oh, jeez. Come on. All the leaves are in that chest. Fat lot of good they're going to do me in there. Let's go with the dark oak and the oak, see how they look. Alright, so if I set this there, pop that sucker down here. And then do that sort of thing. And then just keep putting these things down and trimming around them with the leaves. Yeah, that might possibly be passable. We'll see. I am going to need a lot more leaves, though. I can tell that right off the bat here. But it's something, you know? It's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. It would be nice, but that is often difficult to achieve. All right. That's something. I'm sure it'll look better from over by the town crown, because I have found that the only really good way to see how this thing looks is to go over to the town crown or Crown Island and have a look at it from there, because any closer and you don't really get the right perspective. Yeah, I think it's moving in the right direction. And then I picked up a few iron bars that I had down there. And I'm thinking something like this for a railing. Really? You're going to connect to the leaves? Okay, fine. Alright, something like that is a railing type solution. Let's put put some more of these around here. How about just do that? And then more bushes around them, or leaves, whatever. I shouldn't call them bushes. Somebody will accuse me of copying Corrales. Oh, come on. All right. All right. I tell you what. I'm going to head over there to Crown Island and we'll get another look at this place from there. Right. Here we are up on the Crown Island area here. And it looks like something's going on up there. I think I'm going to go over here to the Slipgator Vader. And have a look at it from the top. One of these days I have to figure out the design for how to build this thing. I've got a feeling I'm going to need one. All right. Okay. Out of dirt, so I'll just use cobble. Okay, that does look better, but it's gonna need work. The fact that it's all going straight up, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna be able to fix that. But if I can, it's gonna take a whole lot more leaves than I've got. Plus, I did get another section done up with the vines on the right-hand side as you're looking at it. And it has helped, but I need to get more on the left-hand side and all the way around, actually. And some of that needs to come from mid-hemisphere region, and the rest of it needs to be scattered amongst the different levels on the way down from that. And yeah, a lot of vines, a lot of crawling around on walkways at perilous levels above the ground. But hey, what the heck? It's all in the name of cool. But at least it's starting to look more like what it's supposed to be. That is definitely a step in the right direction. And now I'm going to go ahead and get those floor levels put in, and we'll go from there. Here's what we've got so far. We've got the second floor partly floored in, and this first level is totally floored in with the dark oak, and I am completely out of the stuff. So that means I'm going to have to head back over to my branch mine and the surface area around there and harvest up a whole bunch more dark oak. I had 4 stacks of it this time, 4 stacks of dark oak logs, and it just doesn't go as far as it used to anymore. So I'm going to have to load up on a whole bunch of this stuff and come in here and finish getting the floors in, and then start figuring out what I'm going to do with this space. I think first up in here, perhaps some kind of actually about the only thing I can think of to put on this stuff was going to be storage. And then up here probably more storage, and I don't know. I'm thinking there needs to be an apartment up here, of course, a place to live, and I'm thinking that that needs to be over here on the eyeball side, the pupil side, as it were, and that way I can have a view out through here, and who knows? I was also thinking that it might be an idea, maybe, to replace some or all of this black wool with black stained glass. I don't know if that would work quite right or if it would have the same correct effect, but I might give it a try. And a big thing that I want to do sometime soon, I'm going to try to get started on framing some of that out on this end down here, and that is the bridgeway that's going to come from under the water here, go out to about there or so, come up out of the lake, and then proceed over there to hook up with the Crown Island. And a big part of that is going to be coming up with a design, a materials choice, and so on that is going to, well, that is going to not suck. And that's the hard part, coming up with just the right material choice and so on. I'm not sure I want to do the same diorite and nether quartz thing that Slipgator did, but at the same time I do want it to look as good as it possibly can. So I'm going to spend some time seeing if I can figure that out, maybe consult with Slipgator whenever he gets back from his unfortunate illness problem that he had recently. I know he's not been feeling good, so I'm not going to bother him until he gets back. But I'm going to do something there. And I also want to come up with something to do with this birthday present from Mumbo. I think that something like this deserves some proper enshrinement, and I'll have to think of something, especially allowing for the fact that a cake, once placed, cannot be moved. Although I think you might be able to move it with pistons. I don't know. I may have to try that and find out. In the meantime, I know this is a shorter episode, but stuff and things are going on, as Slipgator might say. And I don't have the time to really do things justice, so I'm going to leave it where it is and come back to it soon and get more work done. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.